Hi, I'm Lori Brown. Before I launch into episode 64, a moment for me to gush some gratitude out into the world. It is so wonderful to see new Patreon supporters coming to Pondercast and loyal Patreon supporters upping their support for the podcast, especially right now. I think it has actually become our mantra to try and support what you are going through right now, what we're all going through. So thanks to our latest supporters, Talia, Amy Jo, Ariane, Rhonda, and Gabriella, for setting aside a small monthly donation to help us do what it is we do, which is still kind of hard to explain. But we are doing it with your help. And you can help too by going to patreon.com/pondercast and becoming a supporter. Thank you. Okay, let's Pondercast. Our last episode, Cracks, was dark. I gathered up a lot of our darkest, most anxious-making feelings all in a 25-minute episode. And I felt anxious about sending it out into this fragile world. But like most things that come from outside your comfort zone, the response made it worth it. So the next time you might be having a really tough day, try the Cracks episode. So what now? I'm thinking COVID-19 and our forced lockdown is the ultimate go to your room and think about what you've done. I mean, Mother Earth has brought her foot down, and yes, we are thinking about what we've done. I find myself seeing everything that's going on around me as a sign, and we are getting schooled about how much of our lives are unsustainable, how much we'll have to change, and the signs keep coming. Yesterday, while I was out on my daily prescribed walk, I received a sign when I walked through a farmer's field and into the woods. Walking in the woods by yourself is so different than walking with someone else. There is always this tiny flutter of fear. The woods were cool after the open sun of that field, and it's quiet in the woods. My eyes dart around looking for feral things. And I walk silently for about 10 minutes along a path that's about a yard wide. I'm looking for signs of wild leeks or new spring wildflowers or a snake. And suddenly there is this heavy thud on the ground about a foot away from me, and I literally leap out of my skin and jump back. And I look just off the path, and there is a freshly dead, eviscerated rat that has fallen out of the sky and nearly brained me. Oh, a big rat, a brown rat, a common rat, street rat, sewer rat, or, when abroad, known as the Hanover rat, the Norway rat, or the Parisian rat. I look up and scan the sky looking for, I'm guessing, the raptor that dropped him to the forest floor to my feet. That had to be it. But was it dropped by mistake or on purpose? I take this as a sign. I mean, wouldn't you? Dead rat falls out of the sky at your feet during a global pandemic? What does this sign mean? Get out of the woods. Humans go home. It's going to get worse before it gets better. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Actually, this is not the first time something has fallen out of the sky and landed at my feet. You see what I mean? It's a sign. It was a Thanksgiving day, and I was in Nova Scotia, and family were coming over later in the day for this big meal. So I took a walk right before the mayhem was set to begin, and I'm walking down the shore road towards the water, the Bay of Fundy, and on my walk down the hill from the house to the water, the thud from the sky, and in front of me lay a dead partridge, perfect in every way, except it had no head. There was no blood, seemingly no violence. I looked everywhere for the head, as one would do, yes, and I couldn't find one. And so I picked up this perfect bird, and I took him home. What does it mean when the partridge falls out of the sky and lands at your feet on a Thanksgiving day? Well, I took it as a gift, and I cooked it, and I ate it. Later, my neighbor Buck thought it probably got separated from its head by flying through a wire. Turns out that happens to several million birds a year. It's a big problem. So signs everywhere. I see signs, which, when nobody knows what is going to happen, makes as much sense as anything else in these strange days. Because we are feeling at sea, adrift, unmoored. Yes, welcome to the Doldrums. Let me take you to the real Doldrums. It's a place, but the journey there is no fun. So this is you in the year 1650. You're a youngish guy with really bad teeth who spends too much time in the tavern in the seaport where you were born. And one night, after hitting the bottle particularly hard, you find yourself beaten, dragged away, and tossed on a sorry excuse for a ship. We'll call her the Reluctant. And there you are, heading out to sea against your will with a massive hangover. After a month of back-breaking work as the Reluctant sailed south, you are about to cross the equator, and you stare out at the water, squinting through the hot sun, whispering through cracked, sunburned lips, "This is not my beautiful life. How did I get here?" 5 degrees on either side of the equator. This is where the Doldrums live. A hot, heavy, portentous swath of water that has tortured sailors for centuries. And now it's your turn. The sails go limp. The sea is flat. The Reluctant sits still in the water. And you go nowhere. Day in, day out. Hot sun, no wind. Half rations, whispered worries about running out of water, food, starvation, grumbling, anger erupting. And the only relief comes at nightfall, when the air cools and the sky is full of stars like you've never seen before. The sky looks the wrong way around, and you lie on the deck, stomach grumbling, and watch the sky as the ship drifts, and so do you. At the still, airless equator, you slide from tedium to apathy and monotony. The days pass, patience disappears, Superstition and thoughts of mutiny brew. Who's to blame? Who curses the ship with this deadly calm? Scapegoats are called out. Men get tossed overboard to appease Neptune and fend off Proteus, the god of sea monsters waiting for you below the water. There's a plan of mutiny. The captain steered you into this. He didn't take action. You should have taken on more provisions. You dream of slipping a dory over the side tonight with 10 other men to start to row, anything to escape the doldrums. Feeling caught in uncontrollable events and elements with nothing to do about it and nowhere to go. Sound familiar? Here we are in the doldrums. Except our doldrums aren't about running out of food. They're about too much food. This world is upside down, and I'm seeing signs everywhere telling me what can't happen anymore, what should have never happened in the first place. Watching so much of how our lives played out before disappear. And yet, how many times have you heard the phrase, when we get back to normal? A pining about returning to normal. I mean, who wants to go backwards? Who thinks we can? Who wants normal? And normal is a very weird word. Normal is a setting on your dryer. Normal is 98.6 degrees body temperature. Normal is size medium. Normal is an exhausted averaging out of everything. I say, beware of normal. Normal is like a flood. It comes rushing in along the path of least resistance, like water, always seeking and finding the lowest point. That's where normal lives. Normal is what happens when we take our eye off the ball while we're making other plans. Normal is an unconscious creep that will finally have you lying in bed after your alarm goes off wondering, how did I get here? What have I done? Normal life needs us to stay unconscious, to leave life unexamined so normal can do its work. Normal wants life on autopilot. I don't feel normal. I don't think any of us feel like we are normal. It's not that we think we are exceptional, better than other people, but more likely, I think, that we feel we are too weird to be included in normal. So that word really rubs a bit. Who was it that said that the only people we can think of as normal are the people we don't know very well yet. If that's true, then normal is full of not knowing, ignorance, and avoidance. I mean, we know ourselves better than most other people, and we know we're not normal, especially right now. I don't think it's the loss of normal lives that we are grieving. I think it's a loss of certainty. We don't know what we're doing. This is brand new, and no one knows how to do this, and uncertainty is exhausting. And we've each lost our own particular, individual flavor of certainty. Those of us who are still out there doing work in the world on the front lines, their lives aren't normal either. Health workers, cleaners, grocery store employees, city workers, they're all working under difficult conditions, having to deal with coming into contact with all of us anxious, weirdo zombies. While they are, I imagine, grateful to still be working, making money, I wonder if they feel like they are missing out on what so many of us are experiencing, this great pause. I wish that when the lockdown is relaxed, when the new way of doing things is revealed, I wish they could all check out for as long as they need to, because they are exhausted by this uncertainty too. That all of them, the nurses and the meat cutters and the cleaners, that they all get to head home and lock the door and retreat from the world. To feel what it's like not to set an alarm in the morning, to sleep whenever they need to sleep, to wear their favorite clothes every day, and to cook when they are hungry, to feel a new rhythm of life emerge, to see how it changes home, to have mom there all the time, or for a father to get to be a father all the time, to talk to friends and family at any time of the day. I wish them the time that we've had to think things through, to rest, to do less and be more. I wonder if there's a way that we can give them their great pause too.